The Dallas Cowboys are a professional American football franchise that plays in the Eastern Division of the National Football Conference of the National Football League. They are headquartered in Valley Ranch in Irving, Texas, a suburb of Dallas. The team plays its home games at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, within the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area, which finished construction in time for the 2009 season. The Cowboys joined the NFL as a 1960 expansion team. The team's national following might best be represented by its NFL record of consecutive home sellouts. The Cowboys' streak of 160 sold-out regular and postseason games began in 1990, and included 79 straight sellouts at their former home, Texas Stadium, and 81 straight sellouts on the road. The franchise shares the record for most Super Bowl appearances with the Pittsburgh Steelers, corresponding to most NFC championships. The Cowboys are the only NFL team to record 20 straight winning seasons, in which they only missed the playoffs twice, an NFL record that remains unchallenged. An article from Forbes magazine, dated July 15, 2013, lists the Cowboys as the second highest valued sports franchise in the United States, and fifth in the world, with an estimated value of approximately $2.1 billion. They are also the wealthiest team in the NFL, generating almost $269 million in annual revenue. History. 1960s. Prior to the formation of the Dallas Cowboys, there had not been an NFL team south of Washington, D.C. since the Dallas Texans folded in 1952. Oilman Clint Murchison Jr. had been trying to get an NFL expansion team in Dallas, but George Preston Marshall, owner of the Washington Redskins, had a monopoly in the South. Murchison had tried to purchase the Washington Redskins from Marshall in 1958. An agreement was struck, but as the deal was about to be finalized, Marshall called for a change in terms. This infuriated Murchison and he called off the deal. Marshall then opposed any franchise for Murchison in Dallas. Since NFL expansion needed unanimous approval from team owners at that time, Marshall's position would prevent Murchison from joining the league. Marshall had a falling out with the Redskins band leader Barney Breeskin. Breeskin had written the music to the Redskins fight song Hail to the Redskins, and Marshall, a unregistered trademark's wife, had penned the lyrics. Breeskin owned the rights to the song and was aware of Murchison, a unregistered trademark's plight to get an NFL franchise. Angry with Marshall, Breeskin approached Murchison, a unregistered trademark's attorney to sell him the rights to the song before the expansion vote in 1959. Murchison purchased Hail to the Redskins for $2,500. Before the vote to award franchises in 1959, Murchison revealed to Marshall that he owned the song and Marshall could not play it during games. After a few Marshall expletives, Murchison gave the rights to Hail to the Redskins to Marshall for his vote, the lone one against Murchison getting a franchise at that time, and a rivalry was born. 1970s. From 1970 through 1979, the Cowboys won 105 regular season games, more than any other NFL franchise during that span. In addition, they won 2 Super Bowls, at the end of the 1971 and 1977 regular seasons. 1980s and 1990s, Danny White became the Cowboys' starting quarterback in 1980 after quarterback Roger Staubach retired. White led the Cowboys to the playoffs 5 times and won 2 division championships. However, despite playing in the NFC Championship game 3 consecutive years, the Cowboys did not reach the Super Bowl during the 1980s. In 1984, H.R. Bum Bright purchased the Dallas Cowboys from Clint Murchison, Jr. As the Cowboys suffered through progressively poorer seasons, Bright became disenchanted with the team. During the savings and loan crisis, the team and Mr. Bright's savings and loan were taken over by the FSLIC. During an embarrassing home loss to Atlanta in 1987, Bright told the media that he was horrified at coach Tom Landry's play calling. The FSLIC forced Mr. Bright to sell the Cowboys to Jerry Jones on February 25, 1989. Jones immediately fired Tom Landry, the only head coach in franchise history, replacing him with University of Miami head coach Jimmy Johnson. With the first pick in the draft, the Cowboys selected UCLA quarterback Troy Aikman. Later that same year, they would trade veteran running back Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings for 5 veteran players and 8 draft choices. Although the Cowboys finished the 1989 season with a 1-15 record, their worst in almost 30 years, the trade later allowed Dallas to draft a number of impact players to rebuild the team. Johnson quickly returned the Cowboys to the NFL's elite. Skillful drafts added fullback Darryl Johnston and center Mark Stefnoski in 1989, running back Emmitt Smith in 1990, defensive tackle Russell Maryland and offensive tackle Eric Williams in 1991, and safety Darren Woodson in 1992. The young talent joined holdovers from the Landry era such as wide receiver Michael Irving, guard Nate Newton, linebacker Ken Norton Jr., and offensive lineman Mark Tuinu, defensive lineman Jim Jeffcoat, and veteran pickups such as tight end Jay Novesk and defensive end Charles Haley. The Cowboys improved to 7-9 in 1990. In 1991 the Cowboys replaced offensive coordinator Dave Schuller with Nauv Turner. The Cowboys raced to a 6-5 start, then defeated the previously unbeaten Redskins despite injury to Troy Aikman. Backup Steve Berline took over and the Cowboys and finished 11-5, then defeated the Bears for the Cowboys' first playoff win since 1982. The season ended in a 38-6 playoff rout by the Lions. In 1992 Dallas set a team record for regular season wins with a 13-3 mark. In January 1993, only 3 years after their 1-15 season, the Cowboys earned their first Super Bowl trip in 14 seasons. Dallas defeated the Buffalo Bills 52-17 in Super Bowl XXVII, during which they forced a record 9 turnovers. Johnson became the first coach to claim a national championship in college football and a Super Bowl victory in professional football. The following season, they again defeated the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl XXVII, 30-13. The Cowboys sent a then NFL record 11 players to the Pro Bowl in 1993, Troy Aikman, safety Thomas Everett, Irving, Johnston, Maryland, Newton, Norton, Novesk, Smith, Stefnoski and Williams. Only weeks after Super Bowl XXVII, however, friction between Johnson and Jones culminated in Johnson stunning the football world by announcing his resignation. Jones then hired former University of Oklahoma head coach Barry Switzer to replace Johnson. The Cowboys finished 12-4 in 1994, but missed the Super Bowl by losing to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game, 38-28. In 1995, Jones lured All-Pro cornerback Deion Sanders away from San Francisco, and Dallas once again posted a 12-4 regular season record. The Cowboys defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17 at Sun Devil Stadium in Super Bowl XXX for their 5th World Championship. Switzer joined Johnson as the only coaches to win a college football national championship and a Super Bowl. Yet the glory days of the Cowboys were again beginning to dim as free agency, age and injuries began taking their toll. Star receiver Michael Irving was suspended by the league for the first 5 games of 1996 following a drug-related arrest. He came back after the Cowboys started the season 2-3. They finished 10-6 and won the NFC East title, but were eliminated in the divisional round of the playoffs 26-17 by the second-year Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys went 6-10 in 1997, with discipline and off-field problems becoming major distractions. As a result, Switzer resigned as head coach in January 1998 and former Steelers offensive coordinator Chan Gailey was hired to take his place. Gailey led the team to 2 playoff appearances with a 10-6 record in 1998 and an NFC East championship, but the Cowboys were defeated in the playoffs by the Arizona Cardinals 20-7. After an 8-8 season in 1999 ending in another playoff loss, he was fired and became the first Cowboys coach who did not take the team to a Super Bowl. 2000 present, Defensive coordinator Dave Campo was promoted to head coach, but he could only post 3 consecutive FIFA-11 seasons. Many fans and media were beginning to blame Jerry Jones for the team's ills, noting that he refused to hire a strong coach or general manager, preferring to hire coaches who did not want to be involved with personnel duties so that Jones himself, as GM, could manage them. Jones then lured Bill Parcells out of retirement to coach the Cowboys. The Cowboys became the surprise team of the 2003 season, posting a 10-6 record and a playoff berth by having the best overall defense in the NFL. The Cowboys then finished an up-and-down 2006 season with a 9-7 record and a playoff appearance, but after a last-second loss in the wild-card game against the Seattle Seahawks, Parcells retired and was succeeded by Wade Phillips. In his first season as head coach, Phillips and his coaching staff led the franchise to its best seasonal start ever, a conference-best 13-3 record, and the franchise's 16th NFC East championship title, the most of any team in that division. The Cowboys were eliminated by the Giants in the divisional round of the playoffs, the first NFC No. A1 seed to do so since the 1990 playoff realignment. In the tumultuous 2008 season, the Cowboys started off strong, going 3-0 for the second straight year, en route to a 4-1 start. However, things soon went downhill from there, as quarterback Tony Romo suffered a broken pinky in an overtime loss to the Arizona Cardinals. With Brad Johnson and Brooks Bollinger playing as backups, Dallas went 1-2 during a 3-game stretch. Romo's return showed promise, as Dallas went 3-0. However, injuries mounted during the season with the team losing several starters for the year, such as Kyle Cozier, Felix Jones, safety Roy Williams and punter Matt McBrayer, and several other starters playing with injuries. Entering December, the 8-4 Cowboys underperformed, finishing 1-3. They failed to make the playoffs after losing at Philadelphia in the final regular season game, which saw the Eagles reach the playoffs instead. On May 2, 2009, the Dallas Cowboys practice facility collapsed during a windstorm. The collapse left 12 Cowboys players and coaches injured. The most serious injuries were special teams coach Joe DeCamillis, who suffered fractured cervical vertebrae and had surgery to stabilize fractured vertebrae in his neck, and Rich Behm, the team's 33-year-old scouting assistant, who was permanently paralyzed from the waist down after his spine was severed. The 2009 season started on a positive with a road win against Tampa Bay, but fortunes quickly changed as Dallas fell to a 2-2 start. In Week 5, with starting wide receiver Roy Williams sidelined by injury, receiver Miles Austin got his first start of the season and had a record-setting day to help lead Dallas to an overtime win over Kansas City. Following their bye week, Dallas went on a 3-game winning streak, including wins over Atlanta and NFC East division rival Philadelphia. Despite entering December with a record of 8-3, Dallas lost its slim grip on first place in the division with losses to the New York Giants and San Diego. Talks of past December collapses resurfaced, and another collapse in 2009 seemed validated. However, the Dallas team surged in the final 3 weeks of the season with a 24-17 victory at the Superdome, ending New Orleans' previously unbeaten season in Week 15. For the first time in franchise history, Dallas posted back-to-back shutouts when they beat division rivals Washington and Philadelphia to end the season. In the process, the Cowboys clinched their second NFC East title in 3 years as well as the third seed in the NFC playoffs. 6 days later, in the wild card round of the playoffs, Dallas played the Eagles in a rematch of Week 17. The Cowboys defeated the Eagles for the first Cowboys postseason win since the 1996 season, ending a streak of 6 consecutive NFL postseason losses. Dallas ended their playoff run after a hard divisional playoff loss to the Minnesota Vikings. After beginning the 2010 season at 1-7, Phillips was fired as head coach and was replaced by offensive coordinator Jason Garrett as the interim head coach. The Cowboys finished the season 6-10. 2011. With the 9th pick of the first round of the 2011 draft, The Cowboys selected USC tackle Tyron Smith. The Cowboys played the New York Jets on a Sunday night primetime game in New York, on September 11, 2011. The Cowboys held the lead through most of the game, until a fumble, blocked punt, and interception led to the Jets coming back to win the game. In Week 2, Dallas traveled to San Francisco to play the 49ers. In the middle of the second quarter, while the Cowboys trailed 10-7, Tony Romo suffered a rib injury and was replaced by John Kitna. Kitna threw 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions until Romo returned in the third quarter as Dallas trailed 17-7. Romo then threw 3 touchdown passes to Miles Austin as the Cowboys rallied to send the game into overtime. On the Cowboys' opening possession after 49ers punt, Romo found Jesse Holley on a 78-yard pass, which set up the game-winning field goal by rookie kicker Dan Bailey. 2012. Logos and uniforms. Logo. The Dallas Cowboys Blue Star logo, representative of Texas as the Lone Star State, is one of the best-known team logos in professional sports. The Blue Star originally was a solid shape until a white line and blue border was added in 1964. The logo has remained the same since. Today, the Blue Star has been extended to not only the Dallas Cowboys, but owner Jerry Jones' AFL team, the Dallas Desperados, that have a similar logo based on the Cowboys. The Blue Star also is used on other entries like an imaging facility and storage facility. Uniforms. The Dallas Cowboys white home jersey has royal blue solid socks, numbers, lettering, and 2 stripes on the sleeves outlined in black. The home pants, according to the Dallas Cowboys official media guide, are a common metallic silver blue color that help bring out the blue in the uniform. The Navy road jerseys have white lettering and numbers with navy pin stripes. A white stripe are on each sleeve as well as the collared V-neck, and a Cowboys star logo is placed upon the stripes. A Cowboys chest crest is directly under the NFL shield. The away pants are a pearlish metallic silver color and, like the home pants, enhance the navy in the uniforms. The team uses a serifed font for the lettered player surnames on the jersey nameplates. The team's helmets are also a unique silver with a tint of blue known as metallic silver blue, and have a blue belly vertical stripe placed upon the center of the crown. The Cowboys also include a unique, if subtle, feature on the back of the helmet, a blue strip of Dymo tape with the player's name embossed, placed on the white portion of the stripe at the back of the helmet. Uniform history. When the Dallas Cowboys franchise debuted in 1960, the team's uniform included a white helmet adorned with a simple blue star and a blue-white-blue stripe down the center crown. The team donned blue jerseys with white sleeves and a small blue star on each shoulder for home games and the negative opposite for away games. Their socks also had 2 horizontal white stripes overlapping the blue. In 1964, the Cowboys opted for a simpler look by changing their jersey socks to one solid color with 3 horizontal stripes on the sleeves. The white jersey featured royal blue stripes with a narrow black border, the royal blue jersey white stripes with the same black outline. The star-shouldered jerseys were eliminated. TV numbers appeared just above the jersey stripes. The new helmet was silver blue, with a blue-white-blue tri-stripe down the center. The blue Lone Star logo was retained, but with a white border setting it off from the silver blue. The new pants were silver blue, with a blue-white-blue tri-stripe. In 1964, the NFL allowed teams to wear white jerseys at home. Several teams did so, and the Cowboys have worn white at home ever since, except on certain throwback days. In 1966, the team modified the jerseys, which now featured only 2 sleeve stripes, slightly wider. The socks followed the same pattern. In 1967, the Lone Star helmet decal added a blue outline to the white bordered star, giving the logo a bigger, bolder look. The logo in this version of the uniform has seen little change to the present day. The only notable changes in the last 40 years were, from 1970–1973 when the TV numbers were moved from the shoulders to the sleeves above the stripes, from 1982–1988 the pants featured a white uniform number and an elliptical blue circle worn near the hip. The removal of the indented serifs on the front and back jersey numbers in the early 1980s, In 1980 the blue jersey was rendered in a slightly darker shade than the 1964 Euro 79 version. From 1981 to Euro 1994 the dark jerseys sported numbers that were grey with white borders and a blue pinstripe. The stripes on the sleeves and socks also used the same grey with white border scheme. Player names on jersey backs, which appeared in 1970, were originally in block letter style. From 1982 onward the names were slightly smaller and in-footed, serif style. The 1996 edition of the word Cowboys in the center of the neckline, which lasted until 1998 on the white jersey but currently remains on the blue jersey. During the 1976 season, the blue-white-blue stripe on the crown of the helmets were temporarily changed to red-white-blue to commemorate the United States bicentennial anniversary. In 1994, the NFL celebrated their 75th anniversary, and the Dallas Cowboys celebrated their back-to-back Super Bowl titles by unveiling a white double-star jersey on Thanksgiving Day. This jersey was used for special occasions and was worn throughout the 1994 Euro 1995 playoffs. During the same season, the Cowboys also wore their 1960 Euro 63 road jersey with a silver helmet for one game as part of a league-wide throwback policy. During the 1995 season, the team wore the Navy double-star jersey for games at Washington and Philadelphia and permanently switched to solid-color socks. The Navy double-star jersey was not seen again until the NFL's Classic Throwback Weekend on Thanksgiving Day 2001 a Euro 2003. In 2004, the Cowboys resurrected their original 1960 Euro 1963 uniform on Thanksgiving Day. This uniform became the team's alternate or third jersey, and was usually worn at least once a year, primarily Thanksgiving Day. Two exceptions were when the Cowboys wore their normal white uniforms on Thanksgiving in 2007 and 2008. While the team didn't wear the throwback uniform exactly on Thanksgiving Day in those 2 years, Dallas wore them on a date around Thanksgiving for those 2 years. In 2007 Dallas wore the throwback uniform on November 29, 2007 against the Green Bay Packers. In 2008 Dallas wore the throwback uniform on November 23, 2008 against the San Francisco 49ers. The team went back to wearing this uniform at home on Thanksgiving Day in 2009 while their opponent was the Oakland Raiders, who wore their AFL Legacy Weekend throwbacks. Dallas wore this alternate uniform on October 11, 2009 as part of one of the NFL's AFL Legacy Weekends when they traveled to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, who were sporting their AFL Dallas Texans uniforms. This created a rare game in which neither team wore a white jersey and the first time the Cowboys wore the alternative uniform as a visiting team. The 1960 Euro 1963 uniform may also be used on other special occasion. Other instances include the 2005 Monday night game against the Washington Redskins when the team inducted Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irving into the Cowboys Ring of Honor, and the 2006 Christmas Day game against the Philadelphia Eagles. In 2013, the NFL issued a new helmet rule stating that players will no longer be allowed to use alternate colored helmets for throwback uniforms. This caused the Cowboys' white 1960s throwback helmets to become non-compliant. The team instead decided to wear their normal blue jerseys at home for Thanksgiving. Home road jersey history: in 1964, Tex Schramm started the tradition of the Cowboys wearing their white jersey at home, contrary to an unofficial rule that teams should wear colored jerseys at home. Schramm did this because he wanted fans to see a variety of opponents' colors at home games. Since then, a number of other teams have worn their white uniforms at home, including the Washington Redskins and Miami Dolphins. Throughout the years, the Cowboys' blue jersey has been popularly viewed to be jinxed, because the team often seemed to lose when they wore them. This curse purportedly became popular after the team lost Super Bowl V, when they were forced to wear their colored jersey because they were the designated home team. However, the roots of the curse likely date back earlier to the end of the 1968 season when the blue-shirted Cowboys were upset badly by the Cleveland Browns in the divisional playoffs. That turned out to be Don Meredith's final game as a Cowboy. Dallas's lone victory in a conference championship or Super Bowl wearing the blue jerseys was in the 1978 NFC Championship game against the Los Angeles Rams. Since the 1970 NFL-AFL merger, league rules were changed to allow the Super Bowl home team to pick their choice of jersey. Most of the time, Dallas will wear their blue jerseys when they visit Washington, Philadelphia, Miami, or one of the handful of other teams that traditionally wear their white jerseys at home during the first half of the season due to the hot climates in their respective cities or other means. Occasionally opposing teams will wear their white jerseys at home to try to invoke the curse, such as when the Philadelphia Eagles hosted the Cowboys in the 1980 NFC Championship game, as well as their November 4, 2007 meeting. The Washington Redskins, after wearing white exclusively in the 80s and 90s, including the 1982 NFC Championship game, have since in the 2000s occasionally reverted to using their burgundy jerseys for second-half home games, but would still wear white against the Cowboys. In 2005 and 2012, the Cowboys wore their blue throwbacks at home against the Redskins, and lost both of those games as well. Various other teams, be it an NFC East rival or teams not from the same division as the Dallas Cowboys, followed suit in the 1980s. A couple other division rivals such as the New York Giants and the Cardinals have purposely worn white at home against the Cowboys in the past. The New York Giants for portions of the 1980s, carried from head coach Ray Perkins to Bill Parcells, wore white at home against the Cowboys but after a period of time stopped. The now Arizona Cardinals, back when they were in St. Louis, were one of the first teams to try doing this trick when the Cowboys visited the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. The Carolina Panthers, who came into existence in 1995, used to attempt the gimmick until 2006. One of the more recent examples of the curse happened in 2008 when the 1-4 St. Louis Rams chose to wear their white uniforms at home, forcing the Cowboys to wear road blue uniforms. The Rams would upset the Cowboys 34-14. It was the first time the Rams wore white at home since their existence in Los Angeles, where they also used to do the same on some occasion against Dallas. On October 16, 2011, the Cowboys wore their road blue jerseys against the New England Patriots for the first time since December 27, 2009, against the Redskins. The Patriots defeated the Cowboys 20-16. The Cowboys wore the road blue jerseys in both the 2003 and 2011 visits to New England at Gillette Stadium. The Patriots wore silver in 2003 and white in the 2011 meeting against Dallas. Bill Belichick, head coach of the New England Patriots, made the decision to wear white against the Cowboys. He was on the New York Giants coaching staff for some of those years in the 1980s when the Giants bought into the curse. Although Dallas has made several tweaks to their blue jerseys over the years, Schramm said he did not believe in the curse. Since the league began allowing teams to use an alternate jersey, the Cowboys' alternates have been primarily blue versions of past jerseys, and the Cowboys have generally had success when wearing these blue alternates. With the implementation of the 2013 NFL helmet rule for alternate jerseys, the team decided instead to wear their regular blue jerseys for their Thanksgiving game, something they have not done at home since Schramm started the white jersey at home tradition. Stadiums, Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl is a stadium which opened in 1932 and became known as the house that Doak built due to the immense crowds that former SMU running back Doak Walker drew to the stadium during his college career in the late 1940s. Originally known as the Fair Park Bowl, it is located in Fair Park, site of the State Fair of Texas. Concerts or other events using a stage allow the playing field to be used for additional spectators. The Cotton Bowl was the longtime home of the annual Cotton Bowl Classic college football bowl game, for which the stadium is named. The Dallas Cowboys called the Cotton Bowl home for 11 years, from the team's formation in 1960 until 1971, when the Cowboys moved to Texas Stadium. It is the only Cowboys stadium within the Dallas city limits. The Cowboys hosted the Green Bay Packers for the 1966 NFL Championship at the Cotton Bowl. Texas Stadium. For the majority of the franchise's history, the Cowboys played their home games at Texas Stadium. Just outside the city of Dallas, The stadium was located in Irving, Texas. The stadium opened on October 24, 1971, at a cost of $35 a million and with a seating capacity of 65,675. The stadium was famous for its hole-in-the-roof dome. The roof's worn paint had become so unsightly in the early 2000s that it was repainted in the summer of 2006 by the city of Irving. It was the first time the famed roof was repainted since Texas Stadium opened. The roof was structurally independent from the stadium it covered. The Cowboys lost their final game at Texas Stadium to the Baltimore Ravens, 33-24, on December 20, 2008. After Cowboys Stadium was opened in 2009, the Cowboys turned over the facility to the city of Irving. In 2009, it was replaced as home of the Cowboys by Cowboys Stadium, which officially opened on May 27, 2009 in Arlington, Texas. Texas Stadium was demolished by implosion on April 11, 2010. AT&T Stadium. AT&T Stadium, previously named Cowboys Stadium, is a domed stadium with a retractable roof in Arlington, Texas. After failed negotiations to build a new stadium on the site of the Cotton Bowl, Jerry Jones along with the city of Arlington, Texas, a suburb of Fort Worth, funded the stadium at a cost of $1.3 billion. The stadium is located in Tarrant County, the first time the Cowboys will call a stadium home outside of Dallas County. It was completed on May 29, 2009 and seats 80,000, but is expandable to seat up to 100,000. Cowboys Stadium is the largest domed stadium in the world. A highlight of AT&T Stadium is its gigantic, center-hung high-definition television screen, the largest in the world. The 160 by 72 feet, 11,520 square foot scoreboard surpasses the 8,736 OSQAFT screen that opened in 2009 at the renovated Kaufman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri as the world's largest. At the debut preseason game of Cowboys Stadium, a punt by Tennessee Titans kicker, A.J. Trapasso, hit the 2,100 inches screen above the field. The punt deflected and was ruled in play until Titans coach Jeff Fisher informed the officials that the punt struck the scoreboard. The scoreboard is, however, within the regulation of the NFL guidelines hanging approximately 5 feet above the minimum height. No punts hit the scoreboard during the entire 2009 regular season during an actual game. Also, on August 22, 2009, the day after A.J. Trapasso hit the screen, many fans touring the facility noted that half of the field was removed with large cranes repositioning the screen. According to some fans, a tour guide explained that Jerry Jones invited a few professional soccer players to drop-kick soccer balls to try to hit the screen. Once he observed them hitting it consistently, he had the screen moved up another 10 feet. The first regular season home game of the 2009 season was against the New York Giants. A league record-setting 105,121 fans showed up completely to pack Cowboys Stadium for the game, before which the traditional blue star at the 50-yard line was unveiled for the first time. However, the Cowboys lost in the final seconds, 33-31. The Cowboys got their first regular season home win on September 28, 2009. They beat the Carolina Panthers 21-7 with 90,588 in attendance. The game was televised on ESPN's Monday Night Football and marked a record 42nd win for the Cowboys on MNF. On July 25, 2013, the Cowboys announced that AT&T will take over the naming rights for the stadium. Training campsites, Dallas Cowboys training camp locations, 1960 Pacific University, Forest Grove, Oregon, 1961, St. Olaf College, Northfield, Minnesota, 1962, Northern Michigan College, Marquette, Michigan, 1963-1989, California Lutheran College, Thousand Oaks, California, 1990-1997, St. Edward unregistered trademark S University, Austin, Texas, 1998-2002, Midwestern State University, Wichita Falls, Texas, 2001, River Ridge Sports Complex, Oxnard, California, 2002 Euro 2003, the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, 2004. Euro 2006, River Ridge Sports Complex, Oxnard, California, 2007, the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, 2008, River Ridge Sports Complex, Oxnard, California, 2009, the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, 2010, the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas and River Ridge Sports Complex, Oxnard, California. Rivalries. The NFC East, composed of the Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Redskins and New York Giants, is one of the least changed divisions of the original six formed in the wake of the NFL-AFL merger. 3 of the 4 teams have been division rivals since the Cowboys' entry into the NFL. As such, the Cowboys have some of the longest and fiercest rivalries in the sport. Washington Redskins. The Redskins and Dallas Cowboys enjoy what has been called by Sports Illustrated the top NFL rivalry of all time and one of the greatest in sports. Some sources trace the enmity to before the Cowboys were even formed, due to a long-standing disagreement between Redskins owner George Preston Marshall and Cowboys founder Clint Murchison Jr. over the creation of a new football team in the South, due to Preston's TV monopoly in that region. The two teams' storied on-field rivalry goes back to 1960 when the two clubs first played each other, resulting in a 26-14 Washington victory. Since that time, the two teams have met in 100 regular season contests and 2 NFC championships. Dallas leads the regular season all-time series 61-40 2, and the Redskins lead the all-time playoff series 2-0. The Cowboys currently have an 8-6 advantage over the Redskins at FedEx Field. Some notable moments in the rivalry include Washington's victory over Dallas in the 1982 NFC Championship and the latter's 1989 win over the Redskins for their only victory that season. The last Cowboys game with Tom Landry as coach was a win over Washington on December 11, 1988. Philadelphia Eagles. The competition with Philadelphia has been particularly intense since the late 1970s, when the long moribund Eagles returned to contention. In January 1981, the two teams faced off in the NFC Championship, with Philadelphia winning 20-7. A series of other factors heightened tensions during the 1980s and 1990s, including several provocative actions by Philadelphia fans and Eagles head coach Buddy Ryan. Among these were the 1989 Bounty Bowls, in which Ryan allegedly placed a bounty on Dallas kicker Louis Sanchez, and Veterans Stadium fans pelted the Cowboys with snowballs and other debris. A 1999 game at Philadelphia saw Eagles fans cheering as Michael Irving lay motionless and possibly paralyzed on the field. In 2008 the rivalry became more intense when in the last game of the year, in which both teams could clinch a playoff spot with a victory, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Cowboys 44-6, and clinched a playoff spot, where they would go to lose the NFC Championship game to the Arizona Cardinals. The following season, the Cowboys avenged that defeat by beating the Eagles 3 times, twice during the regular season to claim the title as NFC East champions, and once more in a wild-card playoff game by a combined score of 78-30, including a 24-0 shutout in Week 17. That 3-game sweep was Dallas' first over any opponent and the longest winning streak against the Eagles since 1992-1995, when Dallas won 7 straight matches against Philadelphia. Dallas leads the regular season all-time series 56-44. Pittsburgh Steelers. The two teams met in the first regular season game the Cowboys ever played in 1960. The first ever regular season victory for the expansion Cowboys in 1961, and would later meet in 3 Super Bowls, all of them closely contested events. The Steelers-Cowboys is to date the Super Bowl matchup with the most contests. The Steelers won Super Bowl X and Super Bowl XIII. Both games were decided in the final seconds, first on a last-second throw by Roger Staubach, then as a fourth-quarter rally by Dallas fell short on an onside kick. The Cowboys won Super Bowl XXX in January 1996. It is said that the rivalry was fueled in the 1970s due to the stark contrast of the teams. The Cowboys, being more of a flashy team with Roger Staubach's aerial attack and the flex doomsday defense. While the Steelers were more of a blue-collar team with a strong running game and the 1970s-esque steel curtain defense, a contrast that still exists today. In addition, both teams have national fan bases rivaled by few NFL teams, and both come from areas with a strong following for football at all levels. The all-time series is currently tied 15-15 including the playoffs. New York Giants. The first game ever played between the Giants and Cowboys was a 31-31 tie on December 4, 1960. Dallas logged its first win in the series on October 29, 1961 and New York's first was on November 11, 1962. Among the more notable moments in the rivalry was the Giants' defeat of Dallas in the 2007 playoffs en route to their victory in Super Bowl XLII and winning the first regular season game played at Cowboys Stadium in 2009. Dallas currently leads the all-time series 56-39-2. San Francisco 49ers. The bitter rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco 49ers has been going on since the 1970s. The NFL Top 10 ranked this rivalry to be the 10th best in the history NFL. San Francisco has played Dallas in 7 postseason games. The Cowboys defeated the 49ers in the 1970 and 1971 NFC Championship games, and again in the 1972 divisional playoff game. The 1981 NFC Championship game in San Francisco, which saw the 49ers' Joe Montana complete a game-winning pass to Dwight Clark in the final minute, is one of the most famous games in NFL history. The rivalry became even more intense during the 1992-1994 seasons. San Francisco and Dallas faced each other in the NFC Championship game 3 separate times. Dallas won the first 2 matchups, and San Francisco won the third. In each of these pivotal matchups, the game's victor went on to win the Super Bowl. Both the Cowboys and the 49ers are second all-time in Super Bowl victories to the Pittsburgh Steelers with 5 each. The 49ers-Cowboys rivalry is also part of the larger cultural rivalry between California and Texas. The all-time series is tied at 16-16-1, which includes a postseason record of 5-2. Season-by-season records. Notable players. Current roster, Pro Football Hall of Famers, Super Bowl MVPs. Although the Cowboys are tied with the 49ers for the second most Super Bowl victories, Dallas actually holds the record, with Pittsburgh, for the most Super Bowl games played and solely holds the record the most Super Bowl MVPs with 7. Linebacker Chuck Howley Super Bowl V Howley was named the MVP for Super Bowl V despite the Cowboys' loss to the Baltimore Colts. He is the only member of a losing team to win the award. In recording 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery during the game, Howley was the first defensive player to win the honor. Quarterback Roger Staubach Super Bowl VI Staubach became the 5th quarterback overall to be awarded the MVP trophy after Dallas' win over the Miami Dolphins. He completed 12 out of 19 passes for 119 yards, threw 2 touchdown passes, and rushed 5 times for 18 yards. He also became the first of 4 Heisman winners to win Super Bowl MVP. Tie. Defensive tackle Randy White and defensive end Harvey Martin Super Bowl XII Super Bowl XII marked the first time that 2 players won MVP honors. White and Martin, who helped the Cowboys defeat the Denver Broncos, became the first defensive lineman to win the award. See number 3. Quarterback Troy Aikman Super Bowl XXVII Aikman became the second Cowboys quarterback to earn the MVP honor as he led the Cowboys to victory against the Buffalo Bills. He completed 22 of 30 passes for 273 yards and 4 touchdowns, while also rushing for 28 yards. Running back Emmitt Smith Super Bowl XXVII Smith's 30 carries for 132 yards, 4 receptions for 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns led Dallas to a victory over the Buffalo Bills. In that same year, Smith became the first player to win the Super Bowl, the NFL rushing title, the NFL Most Valuable Player Award, and the Super Bowl MVP all in one season. Cornerback Larry Brown Super Bowl XXX Brown became the first cornerback to be named Super Bowl MVP, recording 2 interceptions for a total of 77 return yards. The Cowboys sealed the victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers by converting both of Brown's interceptions into touchdowns. Ring of Honor: unlike many NFL teams, the Cowboys do not retire jersey numbers of past standouts as a matter of policy. Instead, the team has a Ring of Honor, which is on permanent display encircling the field. Originally at Texas Stadium, the ring is now on display at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington. The first inductee was Bob Lilly in 1975, and by 2005, the ring contained 17 names, all former Dallas players except for one head coach and one general manager-president. Although the team does not officially retire jersey numbers, some are kept unofficially inactive, so it is uncommon to find any current players wearing the number of one of the Ring of Honor inductees. For instance, the jersey numbers of inductees Aikman, Stouch, Hayes and Smith, Irving, and Lilly were not worn during the 2008 season. For the 2010 season, number 88 was issued to rookie Des Bryant. The Ring of Honor has been a source of controversy over the years. Tex Schramm was believed to be a one-man committee in choosing inductees, and many former Cowboys players and fans felt that Schramm deliberately excluded linebacker Leroy Jordan because of a bitter contract dispute the two had during Jordan's playing days. When Jerry Jones bought the team, he inherited Schramm's Ring of Honor power, and immediately inducted Jordan. Jones also has sparked controversy regarding his decisions in handling the Ring of Honor. For 4 years he was unsuccessful in convincing Tom Landry to accept induction. Meanwhile, he refused to induct Tex Schramm. In 1993, thanks in part to the efforts of Roger Staubach as an intermediary, Landry accepted induction and had a ceremony on the day of that year's Cowboys-Giants game. In 2003, Jones finally chose to induct Tex Schramm. Schramm and Jones held a joint press conference at Texas Stadium announcing the induction. Unfortunately, Schramm did not live to see his ceremonial induction at the Cowboys-Eagles game that fall. Some of the more recent inductees were Troy Aikman, all-time NFL leading rusher Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, known as the Triplets. The Cowboys waited until Smith had retired as a player before inducting Aikman and Irving, so all three could be inducted together, which occurred during halftime at a Monday Night Football home game against the arch-rival Washington Redskins on September 19, 2005. The newest inductees are defensive end Charles Haley, offensive lineman Larry Allen, and wide receiver Drew Pearson on November 6, 2011 against the Seattle Seahawks during halftime. All-time first-round draft picks. Head coaches and staff. Head coaches. Current staff, radio and television. As of 2010, the Cowboys' flagship radio station is KRLD-FM. Brad Sham is the team's longtime play-by-play voice. Working alongside him is former Cowboy quarterback Babe Laufenberg, who returned in 2007 after a one-year absence to replace former safety Charlie Waters. The Cowboys, who retain rights to all announcers, chose not to renew Laufenberg's contract in 2006 and brought in Waters. However, Laufenberg did work as the analyst on the Blue Star Network, which televises Cowboys preseason games not shown on national networks. The anchor station is KTVT, the CBS-owned and operated station in Dallas. Previous stations which aired Cowboys games included KVIL-FM, KRLD, and KLUV-FM. Christy Scales is the sideline reporter on the radio broadcasts. During his tenure as Cowboys coach, Tom Landry co-hosted his own coach's show with late veteran sportscaster Frank Gleiber and later with Brad Sham. Landry's show was famous for his analysis of raw game footage and for he and his co-host making their NFL predictions at the end of each show. Gleiber is one of the original voices of the Cowboys radio network, along with Bill Mercer, famous for calling the Ice Bowl of 1967 and both Super Bowl V and VI. Mercer is perhaps best known as the ringside commentator of world-class championship wrestling in the 1980s. Upon Mercer's departure, Vern Lundquist joined the network, and became their play-by-play announcer by 1977, serving 8 years in that capacity before handing those chores permanently over to Brad Sham, who joined the network in 1977 as a color analyst and occasional fill-in for Lundqvist. Longtime WFAA-TV sports anchor Dale Hansen was the Cowboys color analyst with Brad Sham as the play-by-play announcer from 1985–1996. Dave Garrett served as the Cowboys play-by-play announcer from 1995–97, when Brad Sham left the team and joined the Texas Rangers radio network team as well as broadcast Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Seeking to expand its radio broadcasting scope nationally, the Cowboys began a 5-year partnership with Compass Media Networks on February 2, 2011. The result was the America's Team Radio Network, a supplement to the franchise's Regional One. Beginning with the 2011 season, Kevin Burkhardt and Danny White handled the broadcasts, with Jerry Recco as the studio host. See also: Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, List of Dallas Cowboys seasons, List of Dallas Cowboys players, America's team, Doomsday Defense, references, NFL 2002 Record and Fact Book ISBN 0-7611-2643-0. External links, official website, NFL.com. Dallas Cowboys,